The Jedi Council, an ancient, revered group of space monks who wield laser swords and preach about balance, wisdom, and the will of the Force. On paper, they sound like the galaxy's ultimate protectors, right? In reality, they sometimes felt more like an HR department, fumbling through an intergalactic crisis. Sure, they had great outfits and could lift things with their minds, but when it came to decision-making, their record was questionable at best. They were the self-proclaimed experts on emotional discipline, but decided to mentor a teenager prone to tantrums without giving him a single therapy session. And let's not forget their uncanny ability to turn every serious problem into a disturbance in the Force that they'd totally handle later. This video isn't about dunking on the Jedi Council. Well, not entirely. It's about learning from their mistakes. Because for every wise proverb they dropped, there's an equally baffling decision that makes you wonder if they were just winging it. The Jedi were supposed to be the best of the best, yet they often proved that even the most enlightened beings can have blind spots the size of a Death Star. Now, don't get us wrong. The Jedi Order had noble ideals and some truly incredible members, Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Mace Windu, to name a few. But the Council's collective judgment, let's just say the Force wasn't always strong with that one. Their choices often left the galaxy worse off, and some of their greatest mistakes set the stage for the very darkness they were trying to prevent. So buckle up, grab your blue milk, and join us as we explore the top 5 dumbest mistakes the Jedi Council ever made. It's part cautionary tale, part comedy of errors, and 100% proof that even space wizards can make hilariously bad decisions. Before we jump in, only 2% of you watching right now are subscribed. That means most of you are enjoying the content without being part of the community yet. If you're loving what you see and don't want to miss out, why not hit that subscribe button? It's completely free, takes just a second, and helps the channel grow, so I can keep bringing you more of the content you love. Now, let's continue this video. 1. Not sensing Palpatine's evil for years. And here we have the Jedi Council's ultimate blunder, completely failing to notice that the leader of the Republic, their boss, was a Sith Lord the entire time. Palpatine sat in the same room with them, year after year, while plotting their destruction, and they had no clue. These are the same people who can feel a disturbance in the Force if someone sneezes too hard. Yet somehow Darth Sidious flew under their radar for decades. It wasn't just a casual oversight either. Palpatine was dropping hints like a villain in a bad mystery novel. He had creepy vibes, unlimited political power, and a fascination with Anakin that should have set off every alarm bell. But the Council was too busy meditating and bickering to notice the Sith Lord right under their noses. Even when they did start to suspect something was off, it was too late. By the time they confronted Palpatine, he'd already orchestrated the Clone Wars, gained emergency powers, and turned Anakin against them. The Jedi spent so much time worrying about vague prophecies and future threats that they completely missed the one sitting in front of them. Palpatine's ability to deceive the Jedi is often seen as a testament to his cunning. But let's be real, it's also a testament to the Council's incompetence. They were so blinded by their own arrogance and complacency that they didn't even question how one man could rise to such absolute power so quickly. If your ancient prophecy says the Sith will destroy you, maybe start by double-checking your co-workers. 2. Exiling Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano was one of the most promising Jedi Padawans ever, but when she was framed for a bombing at the Jedi Temple, the Council decided to throw her under the bus. Without giving her a fair chance to prove her innocence, they expelled her from the Order and let the Republic put her on trial. The kicker: they apologized only after Anakin solved the case and cleared her name. This decision didn't just betray Ahsoka, it undermined the entire Jedi Order's principles. The Council was supposed to stand for justice and fairness, yet they abandoned one of their own at the first sign of trouble. Ahsoka walked away, not just because of the betrayal, but because she realized the Jedi had lost their way. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. What makes this mistake even worse is how it affected Anakin. Ahsoka was his closest friend and confidant, someone who understood him in ways the Council never could. By exiling her, they deepened Anakin's mistrust of the Jedi and pushed him closer to the dark side. Palpatine probably watched this whole thing unfold, like, wow, you guys are really making my job easy. Ahsoka's departure was a massive loss for the Jedi, not just because of her talent, but because of what she represented, the future of the Order, instead of nurturing her potential. They drove her away, leaving Anakin to spiral further into anger and isolation. If you're trying to prevent someone from turning to the dark side, maybe don't destroy the one relationship keeping them grounded. 3. Trusting Count Dooku's army of clones. A mysterious bounty hunter is found working for the Separatists, and a Jedi tracks him to Kamino, where he discovers a secret army of clones made for the Republic, the kicker. These clones were apparently ordered by a Jedi who's been dead for 10 years. You'd think this would raise some major red flags for the Council, right? Wrong. They're like, well, we're at war, so let's roll with it. The Jedi didn't pause for a second to consider the why or how of this situation. Why would the galaxy's enemies share the same source for troops as the Republic? Why didn't Sifo-Dyas mention this massive clone order to anyone? And most importantly, why are all these clones wired to obey orders without question? Instead of investigating, the Jedi shrugged and said, "Free army. Sweet." This monumental lack of curiosity came back to bite them hard. The clones, as we all know, were programmed with Order 66, a command that turned them into Jedi killing machines overnight. The entire Jedi Order was decimated in an instant, and all because the Council didn't bother asking a few basic questions. Hey, why does this army even exist? Would have been a good start. By blindly trusting this conveniently timed army, the Jedi essentially handed Palpatine the keys to the galaxy. It's like buying a used speeder from a Sith Lord and then being shocked when it explodes. They should have seen this betrayal coming from a parsec away. If someone hands you a fully formed army under suspicious circumstances, maybe don't just assume it's a gift. 4. Mace Windu versus Palpatine. No backup plan. Let's set the scene. Mace Windu storms into Palpatine's office with 3 Jedi Masters. Their plan? Arrest the Sith Lord, who just orchestrated a galaxy-wide war, secretly controlled both sides of the conflict, and manipulated the Jedi like puppets. Seems solid, right? Except for one glaring issue, they forgot to factor in literally anything going wrong. Within seconds, Palpatine goes full lightsaber ninja, and Mace's backup team drops faster than background extras in a horror movie. Kit Fisto barely got a swing in before he became Kit Not-So-Fisto. So now it's just Mace versus Palpatine. And while Mace holds his own, this is where the real blunder happens. No contingency plan for Anakin. Anakin, who's already struggling with loyalty issues, walks in to see Mace about to execute Palpatine. Instead of de-escalating or offering any kind of logical explanation, Mace essentially says, "This dude's too dangerous to live. So I'm gonna break Jedi law and take him out right here." Anakin, predictably, doesn't take this well, and promptly chops off Mace's hand. The Council's oversight here is mind-boggling. Did no one think to, I don't know, bring Yoda, or maybe call for reinforcements? They knew Anakin was emotionally unstable and conflicted, yet they left him alone to make the most important decision of his life in a high-pressure moment. Spoiler alert, he chose poorly. If your plan relies on everything going perfectly, it's not a plan, it's a disaster waiting to happen. 5. Ignoring Anakin's red flags. When Qui-Gon brought a 9-year-old Anakin Skywalker to the Jedi Council, they didn't hold back on their doubts. Too old, fear leads to the dark side, and all that jazz. Yet somehow, after listing everything that made him unfit to be trained, they still said, "Hey, we'll let Obi-Wan deal with it." Fast forward a few years, and surprise, the kid has major attachment issues, a temper hotter than Mustafar, and dreams about mass-murdering sand people. No problem, right? What did the Jedi do about this? Well, they gave him more responsibility, paired him with an even younger apprentice, and kept treating him like a second-class member of their exclusive club. Oh, and they explicitly told him not to have emotions. Because clearly, suppressing feelings always works out well for people. Anakin was practically waving a giant Sith flag, but the Council shrugged it off like he's just going through a phase. To make matters worse, they also denied him the one thing he desperately needed: trust. They assigned him to spy on Palpatine, one of his closest friends and mentors, instead of being honest with him about their suspicions. This, of course, backfired spectacularly, because Anakin didn't see it as a mission. He saw it as betrayal. And betrayal, yeah, that's pretty much Sith fertilizer. The Council's failure to address Anakin's obvious issues, while simultaneously burdening him with impossible tasks, makes this mistake almost comical in hindsight. It's like they were asking, how can we guarantee this kid turns evil? Palpatine didn't even have to try that hard. He just showed up with a few compliments and a promise to save Padme. Done deal. If someone is having prophetic nightmares about slaughter and destruction, maybe don't respond with, "Meditate on this, we will." And there you have it, the Jedi Council's greatest hits of incompetence, arrogance, and missed opportunities. From ignoring glaring red flags with Anakin, to trusting a clone army ordered by a dead guy, the Council managed to turn what should have been a noble legacy into a cautionary tale. It's almost like they were playing an elaborate game of how to lose a galaxy in 10 easy steps. But here's the thing, the Jedi weren't evil, and their mistakes weren't born out of malice. They genuinely believed they were doing the right thing, which makes their failures all the more tragic, and, let's be honest, kind of funny. Their errors remind us that even the most powerful and wise leaders can be brought down by arrogance, blind spots, and a little too much faith in their own systems. The story of the Jedi Council is a reminder that wisdom isn't just about knowing the Force or reciting ancient proverbs. It's about humility, adaptability, and being willing to admit when you're wrong. The Council's downfall wasn't just orchestrated by the Sith. It was enabled by their own refusal to change. They clung to outdated traditions and ignored the warning signs, and the galaxy paid the price. In the end, the Jedi Council's greatest mistake wasn't just their individual blunders, it was their inability to evolve. They were so focused on preserving their legacy that they forgot to protect the very people they swore to serve. And while the galaxy eventually found hope in the form of Luke, Leia, and Rey, it's hard not to wonder how things might have turned out if the Jedi had just paused, listened, and asked a few more questions along the way. So let's learn from their missteps. Whether you're leading a team, making a tough decision, or just trying to figure out how not to accidentally create a Sith Lord, remember, wisdom comes not from being perfect, but from recognizing and correcting your mistakes. Because if the Jedi Council taught us anything, it's this: sometimes the wisest thing you can do is laugh at your own failures. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you're enjoying the content and want to see more, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay updated on future uploads. Your support means the world to me. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, you can use the Super Thanks feature to help keep the channel going strong. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps me create better content for you. Thanks for being part of this amazing community.